Hey, so I'm Dinnerdog, and welcome. We're gonna run Castlevania Night Symphony or Castlevania Symphony Night Randomizer. We're doing some safe logic. I'm joined here by my good buddy Dogwood. We didn't like collaborate on names. It just happened that way. Yo,
Yep,
Dogwood.
just kind of uh, fell into the randomizer scene. Maybe I think you were probably a couple months ahead of me, but it's pretty funny that there's a few dogs around the randomizer.
Yeah. So yeah.
Dogwood is not the bird.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a bird. This is Popeye. He's a cockatiel and he likes to chill, so he's gonna join us for this. If I'm not entertaining, the bird certainly will be. So hopefully you'll stick around for the while. So yeah, it's Dinnerdog and Dogwood. You're in for the doghouse here, and we're gonna do some randomizer. So what we're gonna see first is there's a prologue, whereas we're gonna play as Richter, and that's actually gonna matter. There's gonna be a couple of things we need to do in that quick prologue to force some randomized items in the beginning of the game. But otherwise, we're gonna try to go through the game, getting the proper ending, which is fighting Shaft and Dracula. So we need to do that by getting 5 Vlad relics, and yeah, a bunch of things are randomized, and we'll give that. We'll explain that as we go. Anything else we should cover, Dogwood, before we get this bad boy started?
uh, I don't think so. The only thing I could say is if you guys are interested in the randomizer afterwards and you want to check it out, Soden.io, ION, sorry. That's where you guys can find the randomizer at. It's currently in its 3rd season. And then if you have, thanks Smash, if you guys have BizHawk to run Castlevania on PlayStation, you will be able to use Talik's randomizer tools that he made. It's got the tracker in there so you can see what items you've picked up along the way, and he also has a couple other cool features in there. Co-op and his chaos would be similar to crowd control. So
That reminds me, I should probably turn mine on here. Here we go. You're not gonna be able to see my tracker, unfortunately, but the randomizer tools are the coolest thing around. They're definitely worth your time to go get. All right, so there's a lot of things to explain, but we might as well just get into this bad boy. So
yeah,
are we ready to go? So countdown's gonna start once I get control of Richter, so I'll count it in. But otherwise, let's go. All right, so we're just gonna mash through some cutscenes here, and I gotta concentrate for the first bit, but I'll count us down here. So 3, 2, 1, and go. So Dogwood, maybe you could explain like what we're up to here and why we're doing some certain things.
for sure. So you have to have a clear file first of all to beat Dracula in under a minute. It's going to boost your stats. You're going to get additional health, hearts, and your strength content, intelligence,
I've
luck.
totally messed up the beginning.
You could reset.
I'll take the time loss there.
All right. So, anyways, there's like a second of lag. Huh. Anyways, so he wants to beat Dracula in under a minute. That's to help boost his stats. He also wants to collect 41 hearts. In the vanilla game, that's how you would get the neutron bomb, which in this case, in the randomizer, it's going to give him a different randomized item. And then he also needs to use all 41 hearts before Dracula dies, and then that way he would get in the vanilla game a heart refresh, but once again the items are randomized, so it'll give him a randomized item. So there's a possibility there he could get duplicator or a library card, which could be very helpful if his starting equipment ends up being really overpowered. If not, then Death will still take his stuff at the end, just like he would in the regular game. I think he got a couple damage stacks there, right?
Maybe. Unfortunately, I've lost the cross, and I'll describe like why I reset there. So we want to do whatchamacallit. We need to beat Dracula under a minute to have ideal stats, and unfortunately I lost the holy water, which let me rain down a lot of damage on Dracula there. And oh, thanks for the good luck, Mash. So because that didn't happen, it was faster to reset the game to ensure I beat that fight normally than it would have been to continue going. So if we do everything right and beat Dracula in under a minute, we're going to start with a stat strength of 12, and that's how much damage we're going to do if we punch something. If we don't get the correct, or we don't beat him in enough time, our damage stats are going to be 6, and especially with armor, we're going to be doing like less than half damage. I'm going to be checking my items here. I got a meal ticket and an elixir, so unfortunately no early early library cards. But right now we're just gonna be going through this intro area. We might still get a library card before we meet up with our good buddy Death. If you played the base game, Death's gonna steal all the items that you're originally equipped with, including the items I have equipped right now, which are actually randomized. So usually you start with Alucard Sword, but I've got it said Girthing, but I'm not sure if it's actually definitely not actually Girthing. Anyways,
I think it was Holy Sword from what
nice.
I saw in the description.
So you're allowed to skip Death if you use the library card early, and you'll never show up again in this area. And there's one more opportunity to get a library card potentially. Unfortunately not. So we're just gonna let Death take all our items here. I do keep everything that I got from the start of the game by are the items I found on the way to Death, or the items we forced because we did the prologue. So now we're just gonna go through this next room. We're gonna be using our fists, and fists in this game are actually pretty good. So the only thing I'm going to menu for is a shield, because I don't need the extra damage right now.
Masamune, short sword. Now,
one of those was a thrust sword, so I'm going to be able to break some logic later.
Nice.
Yeah, go ahead, Dogwood.
So, with this being the Season 3 randomizer, previous versions of the randomizer, it was just relics and the progression items that were randomized. In this season of randomizer, item stats, appearances, everything has been randomized for the most part. There's a few things that haven't changed, so like the library card sprite might be a different color, but it's the same. Duplicators stayed the same because they didn't want to throw people off with the icons there. But you could see, like, there's a possibility he could get a Chrysogrim that does like 10 damage per hit, or he could get a Chrysogrim that does 100 damage per hit. It just depends on how the stats rolled on the randomizer.
The cool thing is that the when they're making design decisions for the randomized items, it uses only values that existed in the game already. So like it's like the same ratio of like good and bad in terms of stats. It's just like if you end up getting them or not. And we're gonna hope for good stuff. This fight's pretty free here. We're just gonna use a spell, which is gonna do some damage, but most importantly, it's gonna keep these guys low enough so that they don't fly away to start. And then I'm just gonna punch them in the face, and that's the first boss fight.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I mean, that's the Slogger and Gaibon. I mean, if you guys have watched Castlevania speedruns before, some of the strats that you'll see in any of the speedruns is basically going to be some of the same stuff you see here, and it'll still apply. So you're pretty much just looking out for seeing like how the game is going to progress differently, and it's actually breathed a lot of life back into the game for myself, and I know for other people that play the randomizer. The game is so enjoyable in the first place, but to have a new way of playing it every time you play it really makes it interesting.
Yeah, it absolutely adds tons of replay value. So there's gonna be a way for us to break complexity, which I'll talk about in a moment. So I'm gonna equip this sword. So how the randomizer works is the most important items in the game are called relics, and they let you get into different areas of the game and give you different movement options. And we absolutely need to have 5 pieces of Vlad. We've got 1 to start with the Eye of Vlad. But the game, in safe logic, wants to make it so that you can beat the game without any speedrun tech. Like, if you normally know how to beat the game, you should be fine. You'll see here, I just looked at the bottom. If you look at the bottom left corner, there's a relic there. It's not useful, so we're just going to leave it behind. So we're able to save a bit of time not checking that. But so right now, I have a thrust sword, which is going to give me access to a dive kick. And with a dive kick, I can jump off of a candle. And so I'm going to be able to get into an area where I normally shouldn't be able to get to, right up here. Maybe, do you want to talk about the complexity a bit, Dogwood, as we try to get through here?
So complexity, I kind of look at it as like a tree, basically. You need to gain your your items to progress into that tree. So right now, he's going to be able to skip some of the progression because you got that thrust sword. This isn't a casual way of normally getting up into this area. So the way it works is your first step is going to be acquiring some sort of flight, whether it's gravity boots or leap stone, or in this case, he's got a thrust sword. So he's able to break the complexity of the seed and possibly make it go by faster than it normally would, especially at a safe seed. So certain items that you would need to progress through the game, like Mist, Bat, there's different things he can do to go through the game. So basically, you need to get your 5 Vlad relics, but stuff is going to be locked behind other things. So in the vanilla game, you're doing all your normal boss checks. You're probably going to go over for Werewolf, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go see if there's a relic behind there.
So he's gonna go check that out to see, and that's where you would typically find your relics at, but they're gonna be all randomized. So where you would find your typical progression items in the first castle is the items that are going to be randomized there. And then in the second castle, it's all gloves are off. It's actually every single boss in the second castle could possibly be hiding a progression item. So it's much more different than the vanilla game in past seasons of the randomizer.
And so the cool thing to keep the game somewhat consistent, so that you just don't break the seed immediately, at least in terms of intended logic, is that the game intends you to go through 10 steps of complexity. It's a bit complicated how it works because there could be branching paths, but essentially we know that the game wants us to have 10 items essentially before we can beat the game. And usually in order, not necessarily the case, but generally speaking. So we know that there's only a few places in the game where that 10th place could be, or at least that it's important that something important will be there most of the time. So there's gonna be a few occasions where we might dip to specific areas of the castle, knowing that it's a higher complexity check. Especially if we have 4 Vlad relics, and we haven't found what would be quote-unquote a high complexity check yet. So yeah, but for now, we're just going through the game as per normal, and we're back on track. Unfortunately, the complexity check the check we just did in the Colosseum, which was out of logic, didn't yield any results for us, but it did give us some good information, so we don't need to worry about that area right now.
Right.
Oh, it looks like this sword does stone damage. That's amazing. She seems like she can kind of stick there.
Yeah, that's you never know what your swords are gonna do. So to move on further with the complexity, with save seeds, it's kind of has a theme to it. So a save seed, a in logic check to check Spike Breaker would be you would need Bat and then Echo of Bat. If you're some of the pros, like Dinnerdog and ASD, a lot of the other guys that play the randomizer, you can try to get through there without Echo, and you blind bat through the spike room to check Spike Breaker. So that way you can actually break the complexity, and you could end up getting your last Vlad relic a lot sooner than you normally would. So you can also do that with the silver ring check, as long as you have a healing item and some way to have iframes. You can actually get through that door and check silver ring without taking any damage. So you can speed the seed up in a sense, so that you can complete it faster than someone else might.
So I saved there just for safety, for marathon's sake. I don't know if this is going to stone this guy, but it might. If it will, it'll be cool.
You're fighting Doppel 10 here.
Yeah, here we go. No, he's not going to get frozen, but we're still going to beat him. Oh, no. There we go, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way here. So this is actually a pretty difficult fight, and when I first played the game as a kid, that fight took me forever, but he's very manipulatable. If I just jump away from him, he's going to jump into me, and then I'm just going to use my sword to take him down, or to hit him and put him into stun frames.
You learn a lot of new tricks playing the randomizer, but a lot of the old ones still apply here too. So like stun locks, you can still stun lock Galamoth, who hopefully won't be necessary to complete this sea, but we'll see what happens. So we got fire a bat at the elevator, so he's probably not going to waste his time with it. A lot of the relics in unless you really need them. Like the most important ones is obviously going to be Bat, Echo of Bat if you need it, but Form of Mist, Power of Mist, and then any of the dog relics, or for Wolf rather. Those are going to be helpful for getting around the castle faster, and then obviously your Vlads, because that's how you get to Dracula, and that's also going to boost your stats.
So we went up to the top to open an elevator, which is going to be a bit faster later, and I made a point of getting that item up there. I don't know what it was, but it had the same sprite as an accessory, and because we're going to the library, some accessories can be sold for money, if you have jewels. Anyone from Toronto will, you'll get this reference, but the librarian will buy jewels from you, so I call him Harold the Jewelry Buyer. He's a local guy in Toronto who buys jewels, but so yeah, because especially in the library, there are 3 relics. We're only going to be able to get 1 right now unless we get something that lets us jump higher. But the librarian sells a relic which is randomized. In the base game, it's Jewel of Open, but in this it could be anything. So it's really important in the beginning of our run here that we get up to at least $500 so we don't have to grind for money. And hopefully we don't need to grind here because that could take forever. But we'll see what happens.
He's gonna go check ferries, the regular ferries
Oh, nice. Here we go.
location here, and nice. So he's got gravity boots. That's that's nice.
And this is actually really huge because of the thrust sword. You want to talk about how that bad boy works?
Yeah. So without Leapstone, you actually can't chain gravity jumps. So if you have gravity boots and you have either a thrust sword or a transformation, that's how you can chain your gravity jumps. So right now, if he were to do a gravity jump and then he used his thrust sword combo, he would be able to continuously grav jump. That's actually a really important way to be able to break complexity too, and to move on a little bit faster, because that's not a typical form of movement in the safe logic. And then if you go through, you can kind of see, you guys, I'm not sure how many people are familiar, but if you see some of the descriptions, like short sword, that's turning people into jewels, a lot of stuff is completely different. The sprites are different colored, so highly valuable. So is that a...
This is a bad boy. Here we go.
It looks, yep. So look at that. Covenant Stone is a sellable.
Yeah. Got the weapons here. Let me just read the description too. So I have to look at the stat value as well as the description so I can understand what it actually is. Unfortunately, nothing really good here except for this or this bad boy, which may take because it can be thrown. We're looking for accessories right now. That's not that great. Okay, so accessories, unfortunately, we're going to whiff on. We're going to buy some armor just for marathon safety.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to take a crap ton of these mana prisms. So they can be really useful later on. They're going to give us invulnerability frames. And we can also use them to reload on our mana, which is going to let us do, whatchamacallit? That's going to let us do wing smashes a lot if we get bat, and that's exceptionally fast. So I put on a sword here just to see what it was. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Hold on. We're going to get one more thing here. I need to get a shield. So you may have been noticing that we've been doing some Moonwalker through the game. Oh, this has a hitbox too. Nice.
Farewell for now.
Well, you hope it has a hitbox.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it has a hurt. It does damage.
It says it does damage. It's so with the randomizer, it may or may not actually do damage, and you can actually run into that same thing with like Power of Sire, where it should hit everything on the screen and it doesn't hit anything. So yeah, so even though his shield has a damage value, it's not actually doing any damage because it doesn't have a hitbox.
So shields in this let me explain how like the backdashing works here first. So we've been doing some moonwalking here. That's faster than walking. And the moonwalk is fastest at its beginning point, and I can cancel that moonwalk by pulling out my shield. So now I can essentially do what we call a backdash cancel. And that's going to be our fastest form of movement until we get reliable form of movement until we get bat and maybe wolf later on. Also, I have a really cool knife. It attacks really fast, but we're going to be putting it away for a moment so that we can break some complexity here. So generally what I would do in this seed is I'd go back to the beginning of the game to open up some things or to check some things in the alchemy lab we couldn't check before because we didn't have any access to a higher jump. But because I now have a thrust sword and gravity boots, we can check some things out of logic. And what I'm hoping to find here is I'm going to be doing another loop around the beginning of the castle, and I want to hope to find Jewel of Open while I do that loop. It's going to make the loop more efficient. And where is this bad boy? I'm actually going to menu this down so that it comes down to the bottom more often. It's going to save us some time later on. But
There you go.
we're going to do a gravity jump here.
So this is
the
in the vanilla game.
impossible,
This would be a fire bat check in the vanilla game. Unfortunately, fire bat's not going to be too helpful in randomizer, but
Oh, I
we'll
can't
see.
do the input. What is this? Come on, input. Oh man, I really can't do this input right now. Come on.
Is it the left, right, or is it the half circle?
It should just be left, right. I don't think any of them are half circles. There we go. Oh, I missed it though. There we go. Finally.
There you go.
Okay, we can play the game
Alrighty, now we go.
again.
So typically, without a thrust sword or without a transformation, you wouldn't be able to do that. And so, even though he passed that up, that was Echo of Bat. So that definitely tells us if we try to do our own predictions with complexity, that's definitely telling me that there's something important at Spikebreaker. It could be a Vlad relic. It could be like Mist. It could unfortunately be a Merman statue, which could have us running around all over the place, but we'll have to wait and see. So there's certain things, certain relics that we'll find and see that kind of give us hints on what the seed wants us to do as far as progression. It can throw us off a little bit though, like since we technically weren't supposed to be able to get that far into the progression because he's breaking the complexity. Sometimes it can get a little confusing. I don't know if you ever had that problem, but I know
yeah,
I
no,
do, where it's just like you start having too many options, so
Yeah.
it does kind of turn into a luck of the draw kind of thing that you go in the right place and find the right thing to move on.
Yeah, I find that generally if you're going to break complexity, you just want to be able to do things like that are around you, or at least places you can fully complete, which is why we're going to go up to keep here, because we're going to be able to get 3 relics and be able to essentially complete the entire area. And again, we're trying to find either, ideally Jewel. Okay, we're going to freeze this guy in place because it's fun.
There you go.
I should probably pull a different weapon for him, but this is more fun. We'll just put him in the middle of space here. So I'm not doing stone. I'm not sure what's actually freezing him there, because if we had stone damage, we would have been freezing DOP 40, or DOP 10, I mean.
That's a good point. That's weird.
Yeah, oh well. Alright, so we're going to check. There's 3 relics up here. Hopefully I'll be able to do this input. There we go.
Not only is he gonna have 3 relic checks here, but there is tons of items up here. So he's got all these checks here, which wasn't that fruitful. Cubazoe. So now whenever you break candles, he's gonna be able to get some drops from the candles. That could be useful in the library too. So he's gonna check the attic over here, and this gives him a great opportunity to find some additional items that might not be in the library, or just drops in general that can help him out.
Especially with this being a marathon seed, we want to be as safe as possible. Our game state's actually pretty good right now. We have a weapon that hits really well. Our defense is, I think, solid. But the more the merrier, right?
Oh yeah, always. So you guys would see the sprite for that was Power Sire, but it's a thing. It's a Bad's pentagram, excuse me. And until he uses it, we won't know what the actual animation is for it.
Get out of here, bird. Alright.
This is everyone's favorite spot. I'm trying to think, is it between here or the frogs that make people dread?
Yeah, I don't actually mind that one too much, because if you look at the statue below, it will, the one without its head is like where the gap is up here, but that gap is hard to get into. The birds are the worst. Yeah, I'm sorry, Popeye. Yeah. Actually, Popeye's like decided he's gonna go onto my my PC tower right now, but we'll see if he comes back later on. All right, we didn't get anything there, unfortunately. The what we were hoping for right now is like library cards. The because that'll make us go a lot faster. Actually, if I can pull, no, I'm not going to try to keep doing this input. I'm not doing very good at it. The but we could do some diagonal jumps through here to be a bit faster too.
So yeah, now Holy Symbol obviously not super useful, but at the same time it can be because we haven't been down into caverns where the water is going to hurt you. So it's actually kind of nice to have that, so you don't take a risk dying from being in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's going to help us later on if we do the check that requires Merman. We'll be able to push a lot harder, especially if our health's low. Unfortunately, Alucard really doesn't like water. I'm sure he still likes to hydrate, but he definitely doesn't like being submerged. Actually, while I'm here, you know what, I might... Actually, no, I'm going to leave entrance for now. I'll come back here if need be.
Okay. So... I'm not sure how many people realize this, but if you actually hold start and select at the same time, it actually sends the game back to the main menu, and we use this during races as a form of save splitting. So typically, if we were going to go check the entrance to see what relic was there, we would save and then go to the...
There we go.
Oh, very nice. There's Spike Breaker. So that's a plus. Now we don't have to worry about Spike Breaker being the actual location itself difficult to get to.
Yeah, the good thing about that is that we ideally don't want to go down to the caverns until we have something that we can use to fully complete it, and now we have that item now. So we don't need to do additional trips down there, and it's going to save us some time. It's not going to be useful for a while, but it's pretty good for the most part to have that early.
Exactly. But back to the save splitting. So if he was to go check castle entrance, and it proved to be nothing useful, he would just hold start and select, and then load up his save file from the entrance again, and then he'd be able to progress on. So that's a nice find right there, Jewel of Open.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
That's perfect. So now when we go back to the clock room that we saw earlier, we're going to be able to go past it and open up a blue door, which is going to let us go down to the bottom of the castle. And we don't need to go back up to Orlok's quarters right now. We could grab the teleporter, but we don't... Normally, we could go back this route, we have to go up there, but we did it out of logic, so that's all clear for now. Yep. Oh, and I got a knife. Nice. Unfortunately, unlike other Castlevania games, our sub-weapons aren't going to be very impactful. There are a couple that are useful in certain situations, but for the most part, we don't utilize them too much. Let's just start jumping into these guys.
The best ones to have for Alucard would either be the stopwatch, obviously, because you can freeze Doppel where he's at, and then he's not going to be able to move, and you can just destroy him. Or Holy Water is actually really helpful against some of the other bosses later on in the game.
Alright, wish me luck I can actually do this input again.
Check up here.
My gosh.
I wonder if it's because you bonked that it didn't let you...
I don't know, I usually have no problem with this here. I was doing it before... Actually, I think I may know what I'm doing wrong. No, not either. There we go. Nice, alright. Thankfully we should... Well, actually, we do need to use this to get into the Scylla fight. Or not Scylla, whatchamacallit.
Succubus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the cool thing about having this is we're saving ourselves a ton of time, because normally if I win this area, I wouldn't be able to get up here and I have to come back to it, but now we're just going to do it all in one swoop. Including this next fight we're going to have against Succubus. Generally, you need to have some form of flight to get into the fight, and we're going to have that now. And that area actually has a potential for 6 item drops as well, so that's going to help us potentially really well, especially if we get a library card or a duplicator or anything like that, or just a cool sword. I still have the Bastard, which I am going to equip to when we get a fighter, because it does a lot of damage. But for the meantime, we'll just keep going with this this beast of a sword, and we'll see if I can keep doing this input to get the state I need to double jump. Yeah, actually a pretty interesting seed in terms of having the thrust sword early. Our route is significantly different because of it.
For sure, yep. You've definitely completed a lot more checks than you normally would have otherwise.
Oh, rest in peace, $400 money bag. Oh, that's fine. We had leftover money from the shop anyways. We'll leave that behind. I think that guard drop sign, but that's fine. Oh, there we go. Now we've got it on there.
Alright. Oh,
Alright.
beautiful. Beautiful. We'll see. Yeah, this is usually a good spot to either get a library card, or hopefully a duplicator. And then we could just be on cruise control with this for the rest of the seed.
Oh, that's another diamond. Too bad we don't need money.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say goodbye to our Masamune. We probably don't need it for a while. The where did I put that other sword? Shoot, where'd my knife go? Was it Thunderbrand? Thunderbrand's gonna. Oh no, it was the Bachelor. Here we go. And we'll put his shield back on. So we're gonna go to sleep for a bit and have a nightmare. That's not fun, but this fight should be easy. It can get out of hand, especially because we don't have Leapstone, but we should be okay because our Bastards are gonna do enough damage, so it shouldn't get out of hand. Yeah, that's right. I never sort my inventory. I don't do that because whatchamacallit? I usually just try to memorize where items were, and what I like to do is if I get something called an attack potion or a strength potion, it really enhances your damage as a one-time use. But unfortunately, like I don't want to, or the only time it's really useful is against Dracula. So if I get those early, I'll usually try to menu them down to the bottom, so that when I get to Drac fight, I can just go to it immediately. There is a function in the game to sort your inventory, but I like it, that stops me from being able to do that strat.
Never sort my stuff anyways. So don't feel bad. That was a quick fight. Now we're going down. Now it's time to fight Scylla. Well, one of her worms for now.
Yeah, we're gonna fight the real boss up here. Unfortunately, we don't have the Merman statue right now, so we can't go into the one area that is below here for an extra item, but or a extra relic, sorry. I'm gonna do a spell here just to make this fight more consistent. It can get really out of hand if she starts sending out the tentacles, but by doing that spell and applying like any bit of damage, it makes it pretty free. Oh,
that was a fast fight.
So Soul of Wolf's our first
Alright.
transformation. Unfortunately, it's not going to give us a lot of speed right now because we don't have other relics that complement it, but it is going to allow us to get through an area later on that has a very tight ceiling. The Alucard simply can't walk through by himself, but if he shrinks down to the wolf, he can get through it. So after we do all our shenanigans down here, we're going to go to do all that stuff.
That's nice too, because now you don't have to worry about. You don't have Leapstone, right?
No, I don't have Leapstone, which is interesting. So this is probably actually a pretty painful seed in reality. But because we've broken complexity, it's not going to be as painful. And we're going to do that up here as well. Generally, the game wants you to, whatchamacallit, it wants you to have either Leapstone or both Wolf and Power of Wolf to get through a jump up here. Now, to be fair, there's still one relic check before we need to do that. But we're going to be able to break that in case this isn't what we want it to be. So I need to do two things up here. I need to... well, this knife isn't that great against these frogs. These frogs, like you were mentioning before, are the bane of everyone's existence.
Yeah. This hallway is just, like, so painful sometimes. Especially if you don't have any armor. Like, those frogs can be deadly.
Alright, so we're going to check some items as we go down here. Probably nothing too significant. Nope, nope, we don't want those.
Nothing useful there.
So we're gonna go check the ferryman here first. So you're supposed to ride his boat to get to a relic, but we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna keep flying by. We got the snorkel area, and that's gonna allow us to not take any damage to the water. So we're actually faster than the oarsmen just by moving our shield around. Yeah, we're definitely gonna shank our way through this cave.
Yeah.
I love this weapon.
So definitely moving a lot faster. So now because you have a transformation, he can chain his gravity jumps with Wolf
Oh, yeah,
instead
I
of
can do
having to
that.
have the sword out. So,
I forgot about that.
nice power Wolf. So now the puppy dog is going to be able to run fast, which can be very useful in these kind of seeds, and especially in a race situation too. As long as you can utilize that Wolf, you can make it through areas pretty quickly.
Yeah, especially the fact that I left entrance. So Wolf's not only runs fast, oh, Popeye is back. That's right. He's done, or maybe he's going back. I have a secondary camera I use on stream just to capture Popeye, and it's on a small tripod, and he was just deciding that he wanted to eat it. Fortunately for the tripod, it survived the encounter, so that's fine. But yeah, he's just sitting on the other side of my monitor right now. I'll see if I can move him over later. Yeah, so Wolf and Power Wolf's really fast. And it's not even just as fast, it goes through enemies while I'm in this glowing state.
Only thing though is it does eat up quite a bit of mana. So every time you hit a creature or monster, it's gonna chip away at your mana a little bit. So you gotta watch your MP management. Alright, so unfortunately that was just a card relic, so
Yeah.
that could have been fairy, demon, sword.
Unfortunately, relics, or not relics, sorry, the familiar cards aren't very useful in our randomizer race. So,
With the exception of one.
Yeah, fairy or
There's
sprite
one.
card is
Fairy or
they're
sprite
both good.
card.
They
Yep.
will give you, they'll bring you back to life if you die and you have to have a life apple. They'll occasionally heal you as well. Oh, that was a nice damage boost. This one's not done. Alright, so we'll just keep going through here. But generally speaking, you can't level them up through a race or a speed run to a point where they become useful. So for the most part, they're just left behind unless you have to have a life apple.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we do right now.
No, I don't think I don't remember seeing you grab one. Oops.
We're gonna be safe in this run because it's a whatchamacallit, it's a marathon, but we're not gonna be too safe. I think we'll be fine without the life apple. Yo, Black Fox. It's going pretty good so far. We're gonna tap out of like MP right here, which is fine. So just like in the very first run of the marathon, Star Ocean 2, or Star Ocean the Second Story, Donkey Kong makes an appearance. Unfortunately, this time he is on the rather dead side. So I guess the marathons kind of come full circle. We killed Donkey Kong at first, and now he's back with his flaming barrel. Thankfully, his flaming barrel is really cool. So we don't, or so we can get down to the bottom. Even if we have a flame weapon, we can't break that piece of wood. We do hard need Donkey Kong to open that up.
Yep.
And she's right about the rings. We're actually going to do a equipment check now that we're going to a boss fight. So we'll equip some of the things that we didn't touch before, because they may have been useless. This is pretty useless, but that's alright.
Oh, there you go.
got
So
a
Mystic
medal.
Pendant boosting your stats. Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy thing about this too is you could get a Moonstone that does absolutely nothing. You could get a Sunstone that gives you Moonstone stats, or even Gold Ring and Silver Ring, the stats on those have changed. So some of us will go through the game and be like, oh, we got that relic, and then when we equip it later on to open up the secret area, we realize it has Vardis stats, and we start kicking ourselves.
Yeah. So this seed's actually quite, oh, here we go. It left Leapstone it down here, so this was definitely a, what we would call a Power Wolf seed. So we hard needed Wolf and Power Wolf to be able to get down here. Unfortunately, the area where we got Power of Wolf would require us to go around the castle again to get back up the waterfall. But because, from a speedrun tech perspective, we can chain gravity jumps with Wolf or with the sword I had, it's a non-issue, which is very cool for us, or else this would have been a much longer seed.
Yeah. Also, too, is sometimes we don't get that option, and you have to be careful with some of the teleports, especially if you get an early Jewel of Open seed, and you end up going down the caverns right away, and you just have gravity boots, and then you have to go back up and around, and you don't open up that first teleporter, you're in a world of hurt, because then you have to go all the way back through Alchemy Lab just to get back to where you started.
So what we're going to do here, there's two relic checks on either side of the catacombs that we're in here. I'm going to do, whatchamacallit. Can I get through there? Oh yeah, I don't get damaged by fire, nice. I've got some sort of weapon that gets me through
There you
there.
go.
We'll get some items here.
This is another good area to find some items along the way that's not going to chew up any time, so you're not going out of your way.
And also having Power Wolf here is really, really cool. This is just a really long hallway that we're just going to be able to fly through. And if nothing is at Grand Falloon here, we're just going to use the safe split I just made to get back without any having to backtrack. Technically, I could have just backtracked with Power Wolf as well because it's fairly quick. But yeah, it's fine. I kind of do want to show off what a safe split looks like because it is legal within races. And it's not something that you'd like innately think that you can do. Yo, cause thanks for the speed racer thing there. We got a bunch of weapons there, so I'm just gonna take a check there. That's okay. This is amazing, even though the damage is low. Do you want to talk about our buddy the Chrysogrim here?
Oh yeah. So this is probably the most OP sort of the game. In this situation though, it's definitely going to do a lot of damage because of how fast that thing hits. I mean, you just push the button once and it shoots out. Is it what?
I think it's
4 blades.
It's like 4 to 6, something like that.
4.
I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly off the top of my head.
So basically, all you have to do is sit there and just tap that control, and you can just destroy bosses and different monsters. In this
nice.
particular case, it's nice. So yep, we got full-blown wolf here.
So what that skill Wolf is going to let us do is we can do a like a Hadouken movement with our controller, and it's going to start the wolf speed faster and give us immediate invulnerability. That could be very useful in a number of areas in the castle where there's dudes like right in front of you that are a bad time if you hit them. Yeah, so even though Chrysogrim is only doing 26 damage, it's doing damage so often that it doesn't matter. Like we will we'll shred through guys regardless.
Yeah, it becomes one of the your damage per second. Like you're definitely going to do a lot more damage with the Chrysogrim only doing, I think it's at 28, as opposed to a weapon that might be doing 60 to 70 damage. But if you can only get a hit off every second or two, then it's the Chrysogrim's definitely gonna outperform it speed wise. Not seeing the tracker on the screen is throwing me off. It's kind of throwing me off too, so.
Yeah, I have it up on my. Oh, we just got a Frankfurter show to corn dogs.
Oh. Yeah, now the seed's cursed.
No, the seed's lit now. I love being a corn dog. The lore is that Dracula invented corn dogs. This sounds bad getting Vermin statue here, but I actually don't think it's that bad. So we don't have the teleporter right now at whatchamacallit. At Auroch's quarters, so it's actually going to be pretty convenient to have to backtrack where we're going to go here. So we're going to go back into the I can't remember it's not the catacombs, the whatchamacallit. Oh yeah, P.S. This is the spike room I kind of glossed over. So you usually can't get through this room normally without Spike Breaker or the Bat Relic along with Echo of Bat. And essentially the intended way to go through that is you use the Echo of Bat move to see in the dark and avoid the spikes. But because we have Spike Breaker, we don't need to worry about that. And there's a bunch of other ways to get through that room without needing to do it the intended way. So we've just got a relic right now that is completely out of logic and would require at least one more step to get to. So what we're trying to do, hopefully, is get to what's the final intended Vlad relic. It may be holy glasses. It could be a bunch of things. But at any rate, it's a good way. It's a good thing to get this stuff done now, so that ideally we don't need to come back. And actually, I can skip the teleporter to the right here because it's not required anymore.
Yep.
And unfortunately, when you pick up teleporters, the whatchamacallit, you don't get to select which teleporter you go through. You have to kind of go through a cycle, and so the fewer teleporters you have open, the less of that cycle you need to go through. So it can save it a couple of seconds every time you use them.
You're getting shamed on for not grabbing that the Auroch's teleporter. I can kind of understand that though, because the Auroch's teleporter, the stage that you were around there, if you're not careful, the two brothers up there will destroy you
Yeah,
before you can even get to that teleporter. So it can kind of get a little risky depending on what items you have. If you have Leap Stone, no problem. You can just jump over them. But with Gravity Boots or with spells, no, that's a nice money bag drop there. Too
Yeah.
bad though.
Yeah,
But
so we can talk about teleporters for a moment. So like in like a race situation, right? Gathering that teleporter, even if you do it successfully, takes time. And at the time we were there, we had to get back to that area because we didn't have a reliable way of flight.
Right.
So the thought was if we can essentially go there later and then go upwards through all rocks, which is actually what we're gonna do. So it saved us time. And you're absolutely right. Like there's the two enemies there. I call them like the American gladiators because they're huge. And they can really like it's extremely dangerous. The guy with the hammer does like 40 damage. If your game state is in a bad place, then you absolutely need to get killed there. So like even like in a non-marathon setting, it can make sense to skip that. It's just kind of like the risks and rewards that you take through the seed. Oh, nice, missed here. Perfect. I wish I had a library card.
Nice. So yeah, so wow, you're gonna be able to pretty much clear the first castle with this kind of setup here. So look at that puppy dog running through the water. You know, if you didn't have Holy Symbol, you would not be able to do this. So grabbing that earlier and hanging onto it is definitely a good thing. I mean, you're ripping through that hallway right now.
Yeah. We couldn't do that before, but mainly because a bit of the geometry of the room. But more importantly, we had to have the oarsman get to the end, and he only showed up because we had the merman statue. So there wasn't any incentive to go faster there, which is why we did a couple of item checks on the way. So that's a good question. How many relics are we missing right now? From a Vlad relic perspective, we only have 2. We have the Heart of Vlad and the Eye of Vlad. From a things we want to have perspective, we're actually pretty good. The mist is gonna get us into a few different areas. And the coolest thing here is that because we didn't do the checks in Alrock's quarters before, we're actually going to be able to do 3 checks at the same time and save a lot of backtracking as a result. So we're going to go fight Uncle Alrox, and then we're going to get Sword Card, and then from there we're going to check where usually you would get Silver Ring. Unfortunately here, this statue is closed. It closes and opens every minute, and so it's kind of a 50-50. I could check the menu to see when it's going to open, but thankfully it just opened right away, so we didn't have to spend a lot of time there. So this is actually going to be pretty efficient to do all 3 at the same time. I would love to have a library card though, because at the end of the progression chain I'm going to do here, I would love to just go to the library, which is the other area we need to revisit because we have Mist now. And essentially what Mist lets us do is it goes through these things called Mist Gates, where you can't physically pass through them, but like the mist kind of sluices through, which is really fun. Now I need to be careful in this room here, not because this is any threat. These are the American Gladiators, by the way, at least that's what I call them. But because my MP is a bit low and I have a pretty big climb up here, so I don't want to run out of MP as we go up. I am going to grab this teleporter now, because we may need to come back into that clock room if we get Gold and Silver Ring. And those 2 are going to open up the bottom of that room, which leads to another relic. Yeah, exactly. It isn't fun without a library card. You got that right. So we're gonna go for Torture Burst, and I probably should have grabbed that ring there. Hold on, that's fine. Oh, we have another shield too. So maybe I should explain the shields a bit more with Season 3. So in the base game, there are a couple of shields that do damage, and that's as intended. And that also happens in this season. But for some reason, which I'm not sure why it happens, the creator of the Randomizer mouse.
Wild mouse.
Yeah, he leaves a lot of things to secrets, and that's fine. I actually kind of like that. We have to, as a community, need to figure things out. But some of the shields that would randomly do damage, they either have a hitbox that does like occasional damage, or they have no hitbox at all, so it does damage but it can't hit people, or it has a hitbox that does like machine gun damage, and we really love those.
Yeah.
But you have to kind of have the Goldilocks it, right? Because the shield has to do damage, and it has to have that specific hitbox for it to work.
Right. Anyone that knows how the shield rod and the traditional Alucard shield works, so if you have shield rod and Alucard shield, you cast a spell by hitting square and circle, I believe, on a PlayStation controller. Yep, square and circle. Very nice. So there's our way out of the first castle. But yeah, if you use the spell with the shield, you basically gain the abilities of all the shields in the game. It's just the only thing in Randomizer Season 3 is the shields are randomized. But the sprites will still perform the same way. So say you have Alucard Shield, the sprite for it, but it's called something else, you will still do the technical Alucard shield spell along with the shield rod. But I've also had it where you can't tell the difference between Alucard and Alucard. So you think you might have the most OP shield in the game, and you're gonna, just hold that shield out and have iframes for days, and then unfortunately, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So
it's a nice balance to the game, right? Because like beforehand, shield rod and the right shield would just break the game up. But now it's a bit more that like you could have a shield spell, but like it doesn't do anything, right? Whereas it would have melted the game before. So it's a bit of like risk reward that way. You saw me just pick up a diamond. It's actually the silver ring. So the names of progression items are also randomized. And so we have one of the two. Yeah, you get bamboozled. You get bamboozled a lot in Safe Logic. Oh, actually, we just got bamboozled now. There was no relic at this location.
Wow.
That's actually fine. So we know there's probably some in the library. Here we go. So the reason why there's occasionally no relics
Use another cards.
is the randomizers added relics to the game where they normally aren't. So like when we fought Scylla, there's usually no relic there. But we've since season 2, or I think it was halfway through season 2, we added what's called guarded logic, and now there's more items around, or more progression items in places there normally wouldn't have been. It lets you see more of the castle and really make bosses more of a part of the game. Unfortunately, I have to grab this healing item here because the game intends me to have beat, or to not have beat Minotaur and Werewolf, I think, at this point. And because I haven't, it's going to do a cutscene where it's like, oh, I'm looking for Richter. And I'm like, well, I have no idea where he is, but I'll look out for him.
Oh yeah, you did get a...
Oh, I did get a mana refill? Oh, nice. So want to talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, well, so... I'd love to, but it never happens to me.
Yeah, so what happens here is that every so often, you'll see the blue bar above my hearts go up, so I'm increasing my mana. If you increase your mana on the same frame that the game pauses the screen, which is during the fanfare of getting a level up or picking up certain items, you'll get the game will continuously increase the mana over the period of the fanfare because it doesn't know to stop giving you mana until that frame ends. So now we're going to go to the library to go through the mist gate over there. We could go to Second Castle right now, but ideally we want to have it so that we don't have to come back here. Oh, actually, I went to the wrong teleporter. What am I doing? Silly me. It's the next one. So the only way that we're going to not come back here is if the library has a ring. If it doesn't mean we have to come back, because you don't necessarily have to check all the things. But it'll make it easier for us in terms of routing, just to know that we're done with everything. Yeah, frame perfect glitch into you, that's right. Totally on purpose.
Now, this is another spot where Wolf definitely shines.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be able to go through the library pretty quick. Maybe not so fast on the way in, but definitely on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just miss Wolf right there?
Yep, I think so.
Yep, so a cool thing about using Mist is if you are fast enough and you tap Mist and whatever other transformation, you can transform way, way faster than you normally would be able to. You can see, like, super quick. Now, if you were just to turn into Wolf without Mist Wolfing, you'll see, like, the difference in time. You mind trying that out so they can see?
Oh, yeah, I'll give it a try. Let's go through this area here.
Mist
So
Wolf
turning
there.
into Wolf here, like, takes time. But if we use Mist, we, like, immediately get into Wolf.
So definitely tech that speedrunners like to use, especially in the randomizer setting with Mist. It's crazy how in the vanilla game, like, some of these things wouldn't seem so important, and it just gives it a whole new meaning and a whole new life in the randomizer.
Yeah, like right here, it probably wouldn't be worth it for me to go into Wolf, but because I can do the Mist Wolf, it probably is worth it. As long as I execute well. I got another accessory here. Glad we went here, so we probably have the high complexity Vlad Relic now.
Yep.
So that gives us a little bit of information in so much that we probably don't need those rings that we saw in the middle before. I wonder if I can get a mana refill glitch again. Nope, unfortunately not. And that would have been convenient too, because I'm kind of low. So with the knowledge that we have, we can gamble that the room that the rings would open is actually nothing, or at least nothing that we require. So we can go deeper potentially into the second castle. Or it could be bait, or it could bait us into a false sense of security, and then we actually do need it. So we'll see how it goes.
Based on what I've seen, though, I could more than likely see the traditional Holy Glasses check being Bat right now.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen Bat in Echo, and progression items were at Spike Breaker.
That's actually
to
right,
advance.
yeah.
So, unfortunately, this is probably going to be a Batless seed. Sad face.
Yeah, we definitely want Bat if we can get it. It's definitely the fastest form of movement, especially with all the mana prisms I bought before, but we'll deal. So we're gonna go in the second castle right now. We're gonna go fight our buddy Richter. He's being possessed by Shaft. It's not fun. We're gonna try to quickly kill this orb above Richter without killing Richter himself, or else it becomes really bad time. So I'm gonna menu to check for that right now, and I'll probably just do a couple of quick. Whoop! The bird just dropped something. Hold on a second. Birdie, come here, you. He decided to stand on the camera beside it, and he just knocked it down. So he's probably a bit rattled. We don't need this anymore. Actually, we'll still keep it. It's fine. And this Necklace of J is going to give us a bit more defense. And let's just check this bad boy. And unfortunately, that doesn't give us anything. There is a setup for this fight to make it really easy, and I'm going to try to do it once. If not, I'm going to do it the other way. Oh, here we go. So the orb that you see there, it doesn't have any health. It has like how many times it needs to get hit to break. So if you do a Summon Spirit and then a Soul Steal immediately, you do enough hits to the orb to murder it. The alternate way to do it, which I kind of like because it uses less MP, is to do a Tetra Spirit and then hit the orb a couple times with your sword, especially if the sword happens to double hit, and some of the swords in the game do that. And you do it around the same amount of time, but you spend less MP. And then the last way to do it, really, which we could have done there, is because we have Chrysogrim, we could have just jumped into it and hit it, and probably done it a bit faster.
Sliced him, yeah. I believe it's 10 hits destroys her.
Yeah, something around there. Right. But it's really cool to have that trick in your back pocket, because the Richter can be an absolute nightmare if you don't pull that kind of stuff off. He hits like a truck sometimes, and you really can't fight him back, because if you kill him, then the game ends and you've ruined everything. Actually, now that I think of it, I probably should have saved for safety before the Richter fight, in case I messed it up. But with Chrysogrim, we're probably fine, just because it does so many hits per second.
I've come pretty close to doing that before. You got to be careful, because if you I've become super overpowered in the game before, and you could end up. See.
Do we dare go back just to show off Bat? We're at 55 minutes. I think we do. I'm gonna do a save split here.
Yeah, I think you've got time. I mean, even if you wouldn't grab the Bat, because you got the teleport, but
yeah, the bait.
Yep, the bait.
So we're gonna save here in case this next thing is nothing. And I'm only doing this because we're so close to the first castle. At least we'll know we don't have to go back. This is probably just Bat, and in a race situation I wouldn't go back for it. But we're showing things off in a marathon, and we're doing pretty good for time right now. We're gonna have complete the second castle, and I'll probably do this before the 1 hour mark. And then our estimate's 1 hour and a half, so we'll get through it before the estimate. Gotta think about the schedule, right?
Always.
Yeah, this is probably bait. But yeah, we're gonna do it anyways. It'll be fun. Actually, I should just.
I'm almost 100% sure it's Bat, but it's funny. I can watch everyone else do races, and I'll sit there and I can predict things for days. But then when I'm in the seat, I sit there and I go,
Yeah. I should have timed this to see how long it takes to come back here, especially with it being at the Darkwing Bat boss, because you're right there. Oh yeah, we got Birdie here. Popeye is having a great time. I'm actually glad he's facing away from the camera right now. When he faces the camera, his tail feather goes in front of my screen, and he's molting right now. And one of his tail feathers is kind of off to the side, so he'd really be messing with my vision. That's half the fun. He's preening himself right now, which is good because that'll tell me that he's like not stressed out or anything like that. So he's just having a time. Cockatiels are great; they just want to hang out. All right, so we need to equip some things here. That game, I don't know if that gave me anything. So now we need to wait for this door to open. Usually on stream I do this. Cheers. So cheers to all of you. Popeye unfortunately doesn't like me cheersing people. He's not much of a drinker, so he's kind of mad about it. And we gotta wait for this cutscene to play. We'll see if Popeye like head scratches though. Popeye, do you like this? Yeah. No, he's kind of mad because I tried to cheers him. He's doing a little T-pose there to assert dominance on me and let me know who's boss. So this is usually where you get the holy glasses and see Maria. We are going to see Maria, but we're going to try to match through all of her text. So we're probably going to see a bat icon here, but we want to see something else. And there it is. It's the bat.
Ding 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 ding. You have a winner.
Ding 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 ding. So yeah, for funsies we got that. It usually wouldn't be worth to go back and get just because of the amount of time it takes. It's probably like a 4-minute detour, and although the bat does save a lot of time, it's a bit of a trek to get it. The other unknown factor here is that the cycle for the statue up here, we have no idea what it's on right now. So I'm gonna try to get into there quickly. Unfortunately, it's closed, so I'll just have to wait here for this to open up. What can be cool is to use your time effectively. So I'm gonna look in here. I got 30 seconds, so I'm gonna do a few item checks because I have the time. Onyx. I don't remember if I saw Onyx before, and I think I did the item checks up here too, but I'll go take a look because we have the time.
Yeah, I think you did.
Oh, yeah, I did. That's fine. Alright, so I'm actually going to change my equipment too. Because we have Bat, we can go fast. But unfortunately it takes MP. So we're going to get rid of our shield here, unfortunately, and we're going to go and find those mana prisms. And we're going to use these to continuously fill up the gas pipe here. So yeah, this is like gas time. Here we go. So, oops. So Bat lets us do a couple of things. I just did a dive kick into Bat, which is a very fast form of movement through small rooms. And it's a good way to start the chain wing smashes.
Yep.
So the wing smash itself is kind of it's kind of like a Zangief move in Street Fighter. All of like your spells and stuff usually use some sort of command input. So for this Bat movement I'm doing here, I have to hold up, then I have to press up and then hold jump at the same time, and then do a 3/4 back to front rotation, and then let go of jump when the stick is facing forward, and then I can chain that several times so that I can continuously keep the Bat going forward without stopping. It does cost MP every time I do it, but because we've got the mana prisms, it's not a big deal. And you just rip through things. You can't be damaged when you're in that wing smash form, and it's like the fastest movement of the game.
Yep. You go on cruise control, that's for sure. You guys can see, just like he was doing with the wolf, he's misbatting, and that is the fastest way to get into the bat form. Also, doing that, I lost my train of thought because Speed Souls just rated us with 107 people.
Oh wow, here we go. Let's go.
Now you're really showing off to a lot of people, bud.
Here we go.
So, anyways, with the misbatting, if you feel like you're gonna drop a wing smash, you can misbat, and then you just go right back into entering in on your the input with your wing smash. So doing that could potentially make you go even faster. You can see there he just did a backdash into a wing smash. That's also, depending on if you're doing any regular speed runs in any percent, that is the way to move fast with Bat, is to do a backdash into a Bat transformation. Let's see, we're just cruising through hallways now. Let's go fight Medusa.
So there goes Medusa. This actually can be a very difficult fight if you don't know the setup, and really you just need to get into Medusa's face so she doesn't stone you. Or get you with her sword, which is a really good anti-air.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to go through the second castle, through the most efficient route from a relic perspective. We've done everything in the first castle now, which is nice, especially because we haven't found a library card. So we don't need to go back and forth, although I guess we kind of did before. But generally, if we didn't do that when we got the rings, and we just did it for funsies, it'd be really fast. This is my favorite song in the game, by the way. This is Opera Lady. It's supposed to be boss music, but as you can tell, the music in the game is also randomized. So in this hallway, she's just going to do her opera thing. Unfortunately, we're not going to hear the whole thing right now, but we may hear it a bit later. Thankfully, we have a good sword for this fight in terms of its range.
Yeah.
This guy...
So...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Aquadon can be a big pain. He can command grab you, and if you don't have enough defense, he'll obliterate you and just throw you into walls. But obviously, with the distance you get with Chrysogrim, you melted him.
Mm-hmm. The other thing, too, you may have saw that yellow smoke that came out of him. That poisons you. Poison in this game is very deadly. It doesn't reduce your... Oh, I shouldn't have gone through that door. It doesn't... Oh, nice. Here we go. This is our 4th piece of Vlad. We only need one more, and then we'll be able to beat the game. So, poison doesn't do, like, tick damage to you, but it does make it so that you take more damage, you deal less damage, and you don't passively generate any MP while that's happening as well. I think I just saw a stopwatch there, but I'm not going to go back for it. We're not going to need too much against Doppelganger, but if we see another one, we'll grab it.
I mean, you should be fine against Doppel because you've got the range of the Chrysogrim, if you even get to him.
Actually, you know what? I'll probably equip something else for Doppelganger because it's only going to do one hit. So the deal with Doppelganger is he goes into a hit stun anytime you damage him. So unfortunately, although this weapon is going to hit like 4 to 6 times, it's only going to hit him 1 time, and it does very little damage because that damage value has been randomized. So I'll actually have to go to something else at that time. Oops, this is fine. The other cool thing about Bat is that he'll hug slopes, so we can get through that area really quickly as well.
Yep.
We're gonna actually see that come up here if we need to go fight Beelzebub, which we'll probably do regardless. Because this run can and actually I don't need to go through there. So I was just gonna take the upper route, but I realized I missed. I can take this bottom route here. So we're just gonna slide through that bad boy, and now we're gonna fight CV Trio. So we're gonna go and see Alucard's old friends.
Yep. Now, in the Season 1 of the Randomizer, I'm pretty sure the only thing that was randomized with it was the vanilla locations. Season 2 is when Mouse implemented more locations, so before, Trio wouldn't have a relic drop. There'd be nothing of use here, so people wouldn't even bother going here, and I believe it was the same with Beelzebub as well. So now, yep. So
did you see that big thing that Trevor looked like he threw a bigger cross there for some reason? It may have just been my eyes, but that looked really weird.
Might have been just the frame that you got him on.
Yeah, it could be true. That room I just went through with the those Minotaurs is actually really dangerous. They do a lot of damage, but because we had Bat, it was no problem. And this next room is dangerous, so there's a bunch of imps here that can essentially grab onto you, but we're going to try to use Bat to not have that happen. Unfortunately, if we take any hit as the Bat, we're going to untransform and have a bad time about it.
You got up there without a problem, though. That is a very efficient route when you're going through Second Castle. You basically you have 2 choices with Second Castle. You can either go right or go left.
Yeah, at the beginning. Though,
sometimes yeah. So it's just kind of a luck thing with whatever you go with. You could pay off going left and getting creature first, or it could be a complete waste of time and then you backtrack around. So there's actually more items to more progression item checks going right as opposed to going left.
So what we're doing here is I'm using these mana prisms to gain iframes against those bugs. This boss can actually be a big problem for the same reason that Aquaman can be a problem, is that he poisons you, and the flies will do an insane amount of damage if they end up landing on it, or if they end up hitting you.
Card. So that really was a great fight. You used your iframes well there, sir. Another thing, if you're fighting Beelzebub and you have dark armor, you become invincible to him. So you can actually like float around inside his body, jumping around. It's not going to do any damage to you. Yeah. So
it's cool how that fight works because it can be quite a difficult fight, and it didn't used to be in the randomizer for a while. But the fact that like there are like the dark armor and other ways to get around that kind of battle is cool. I'm gonna take it slow up here for safety, just so we don't get killed by these guardians. So these guys' swords do a lot of damage. You can wing smash them fairly easily, but I didn't want to wing smash into the room and then
drop your wing smash.
Drop the chain, right? Yeah, this room is definitely not safe. Thankfully, we have a transformation for it. There are times in the randomizer you need to go through that room without a transformation, and it's a rough time.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you're I've never had to do it without Leapstone yet, but that would be terrifying if you had to. But yeah, usually if you have Leapstone, you can kind of just bounce off the top of them with a dive kick and get around them. But you have to time it right, or they could obliterate you. Oh, those hit hard. Wow,
Oh, yeah,
everything's hitting hard. Yeah.
My defense is alright. I have a stronger armor, but I just have Spikebreaker equipped right now. I'll equip something else later. We'll be fine for now. So we're gonna go fight the creature. He's one of the most annoying bosses because he's in this he's on the left side of the second castle, and he's the only thing on the left side of the second castle.
Yeah, it's like the most out of the way check, and sometimes it can pay off checking him first, or it can not pay off at all. Or you kind of make your way going through here, and then he doesn't have anything. So let's see what he drops.
Oh no, boo, nothing good.
Yeah. So you'll notice a lot of the relics we don't even bother picking up. I mean, if it's not useful, it's sort of a time loss to pick up because it's gonna give you that animation and hold you still for what is it, like 2-3 seconds?
Yeah, it'll play the fanfare.
Yeah, so you'll notice a lot of the relics that aren't helping us progress, we'll just skip right over them. Same thing with like heart refresh, the health.
Yeah,
ups.
the health
like
max up.
we typically don't grab those unless we're in kind of like a dire situation where we had a rough like boss fight and we need to heal up before we move on.
Yeah, unfortunately because sub-weapons aren't the greatest in this game, there's no reason to like upgrade your max hearts. I haven't barely done it at all if I have by accident, and I have 77, which is more than enough if we ever need to use it. I should have done that here. Maybe we should talk a bit about, because this run may be coming to a conclusion fairly quickly, or we may be going to fight Galamoth, who knows. But just to speak a bit about like the community, there's an amazing shoot, what am I doing now? I can't get up here. There's an amazing group of people who run this bad boy often. And we do races on a custom race spot built by Talek Zealot in our Discord. So if you're interested at all in like playing the randomizer or potentially racing it, like go take a look at that. This community's been great, especially with COVID. Like I live in Ontario, Canada, and we really just got out of lockdown like recently. So like just being able to have like a great group of people to like play games with and stuff has been amazing. Like everyone's super friendly, very helpful. Like a year ago, like I would have been barely like adequate at this at all. But like it's very, I mean, not easy, but like it's very it's able to like, you're able to run this actually that wasn't useful. You could run races and stuff without like a huge amount of knowledge. Like just watching some of the more experienced streamers and stuff, like definitely Talek or DB, who's definitely the yeah, Dragon Blitz, yeah, that's right. Yeah, full names for sure. Like that's gonna give you a lot of insights. I think he's actually working on an updated guide for this season of the randomizer. And so I'm actually gonna change my weapon up here. But yeah, if at all like if you like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you should definitely give this a go. It's absolutely worth your time. Okay, that sort of went there, so I gotta pick a different weapon. Actually, let's just do this. This will be fun.
I have to say, just like watching all these guys play, it definitely inspired me to start streaming and getting online and doing this. And then I've never been a part of like a community of people that have been such a good time to hang out with. You know, you're not in like this hostile environment where people are, you know, trash talking all the time. It's so much fun just to jump in and race for fun. I really appreciate everything Talek's done with the tracker, and I mean, if it wasn't for Mouse, we wouldn't have a randomizer in the first place. So that, and then just like the Soden community in general, really keeping this game alive.
Yeah, so don't be shy. Come join us. We're really helpful. Like, what was it? When Vex did his first race, we all like helped him out and stuff like that.
So,
It took him like 3 hours, but it was a lot of fun.
I think that was a 5-hour.
Or was it 5 hours? Wow.
It was a 5-hour seed, and it kind of turned into the Twitch chat plays Castlevania Symphony of the Night Randomizer. The only thing I'm going to say, guys, is please, if you join the Long Library Discord, read rule number 1 and follow rule number 1, because you'll be told if you break that rule. You'll be jumped on right away, so just make sure you guys read the set of rules in there. It's pretty much common sense stuff, so but yeah, we're cruising right along here. So Doppel didn't have anything. Yeah, it was close to 5 hours. But I think we all had fun trying to help Vex out there, and everyone improves too. So I mean, your first seed might last 2.5, 3 hours. I think my very first one, it took me 2 hours and 30 minutes to complete, but it just breathed new air into the game itself. So if you're a fan of Symphony of the Night, like, it just makes it that much more fun. Good old death.
I need to be actually careful here because
That was a hard hit.
yeah, it was a hard hit. My defense is fairly low.
You got a couple axe throws in there.
Usually no, make sure he doesn't kill me here. When he drops his weapons there, they actually can't hit you.
Yeah, I've unfortunately had that happen to me before, because I didn't know. And the randomizer will teach you a lot of. Oh wow, life max up. Surprise.
Yeah.
So I guess we know where we're going.
Yeah, we're gonna go fight the hardest boss in the game. But he's interesting. So Galamoth is a beast. He has way more life than Dracula. I think he's got like 9,000 life. And so he's very difficult. He deals a ton of damage, and there's not much you can do about it normally. But thankfully, there's a setup that we can use to stun lock him, so that we're all good. Oh geez, unfortunately, Bert's decided that he's gonna drink from my glass here, so unfortunately, we may not see him very much longer. It's okay.
I mean, I don't necessarily trust the wiki, but according to this, Galamoth has 5,666 health.
Yeah, it seems low. I don't know. Maybe it is that.
I mean, that's a lot of hits.
That
Like,
is
if
true.
you don't have Christogrim, you sit there and you mash for a while. That's for sure.
We're probably gonna be mashing regardless because the Christogrim doesn't hit very hard, so we're not gonna be getting past his defense as effectively as we normally would. So
Yep.
this should be fine. Yeah, it should be 12,000. It feels like 12,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what we're going to be doing up here is we're going to be making a safety save because we absolutely need Galamoth to cooperate with us. And if he doesn't, then we're going to be in for a rough time. If I don't get the setup right, I'm going to be resetting because it's just not worth it. We're essentially going to be hitting him in the head, and he's going to do some headbanging with us. He loves the music of this game no matter what track it is.
Yep.
So the easy way to do it is just get up here with Bat and do a single wing smash, get onto this platform here, and wait for him to turn around. Oh, he didn't! Oh, he's misbehaving. But I have got missed, so I should be okay?
Yeah.
I might not be.
Just miss as soon as
There we go,
he
now
stops
we're
throwing out. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Like, I can
So,
literally
yeah.
play with a bird now that I've got him into this stun lock. It's just annoying because if he gets out of this thing, then it's pretty much the game over for me. Or I'll have to reset the fight with the save split. But otherwise, we're just going to slice and dice this guy with a slap chop here and make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, you should be fine here with Christogrim. You don't have to worry about dropping the hits with Christogrim. And look at that.
There we go. That's actually pretty... That was a bit faster than normal, maybe. If the Christogrim had more damage to it, or we had a ring that gave us more stats, especially around strength, then we would have been okay. So as an RPG, like, you have essentially 4 stats in this game, which we probably should have talked about earlier. But here we go. Essentially, the only one we care about for the most part is our strength stat. That's going to impact how much damage we do. The defense you get through Constitution, and the armor you're wearing. You also get a buff to how, or how long it takes to get rid of status effects, but it's usually not a problem when racing the randomizer. Luck is like almost completely useless. It does dictate, I think. Actually, I don't think it dictates critical hits. I think someone was saying that before. I could be wrong on that. But at any rate, it really just the big thing it does is it gives you a better chance on item drops, but you need so much of it for it to be useful that we never worry about it. Intelligence can matter at the beginning of the game if you get an item that gives you a ton of it, but for the most part, we're usually using spells to get around rather than to deal damage, with some exceptions, so it's not really a big deal.
Yeah, using it for the iframes. Thanks for the good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, everyone. You're going to join us here for the grand finale. So, getting back to the clock room we need to get to. Luckily, we opened a teleporter in the Reverse All Rocks location, which is going to get us back there a lot faster.
Yep. Now we don't have to backtrack through all of the caverns.
But yeah, for all the raiders that just came in, so we're running the randomizer for Symphony at Night. A lot of us race this. It's a ton of fun. If you've ever played Symphony at Night before, you'll definitely have a blast giving the randomizer a good try. We're pretty much randomizing everything except for like enemies and Romans at this point. And unfortunately, that can't be randomized just based on how the game is designed. It would need like a full decompile to be able to do things like that. But I kind of love the randomizer it is anyways, so I'm very happy for
absolutely. Season 3, it's added a whole new dimension to, as far as difficulty. A lot of people talk about having like the hard mode hack for Symphony of the Night, but this is like a true hard mode because with the items being randomized, the stats of the items, I mean, there's plenty of us that could run through the game without dying and have through Season 2. And we'll just get obliterated in Season 3. Like,
I'm not going to drink from this right now because the bird drank from it, but cheers everyone. I wonder if Birdie will drink from this right now. Hey, you want to drink? No, he doesn't like me presenting the glass. He wants to have the glass himself. You're right. It really is his supervision. This is why I do well here. He's keeping me honest through all this. But yeah, I usually I'll stream with Popeye on there, and sometimes he cooperates, sometimes he doesn't, but it's all good. Sometimes he tries to eat my mouse. No, now he's going for a drink, like on my desk. Alright, so just talking about these fights, the harder fight in this is going to be Shaft because he moves around a lot. But Dracula is very predictable if you know what his pattern is, and he'll do the exact same thing every time. And he has such a big hitbox that like you can use like any weapon against him. Like even that knife I had at the beginning of the game, which I actually might equip for funsies.
There you go.
It's useful.
Oh, you could do one in each hand. You could do Chris Grim and the knife.
This guy's doing a lot of damage to me. Oh, there we go. I'm actually going to probably need to... For safety, I'm going to heal. Going against Dracula should be okay, but unfortunately we took a few hits there, and we didn't really get anything that increased our defense, so I'm going to do a equipment check before we fight old dad here.
Yeah, you can get really creative with the randomizer. If you get a duplicator, you might find yourself using items that you wouldn't normally be using in a casual playthrough. Just in general. So the randomizer really does put a lot of fun into the game. Sort of a door.
Well, I forgot to equip this stuff, but it didn't really give me a lot. Do I have anything that's going to heal me? Oh, I have an elixir. Let's just pop that bad boy right now. Oh, now I've lost where I have that. Oh, well, whatever the sword is, it's fine.
Dying to Drac.
Unfortunately, I mean, use the fun knife, but whatever.
We've all had seeds where, I mean, we've all raced seeds where we don't have a powerful item to go against Drac. Like, we're doing, like, 30 damage to Drac, and, like, he goes through, like, 3 or 4 cycles before we actually beat him. Like, it happens.
Fortunately, looks like we have a 2 cycle in here.
Wow.
Oh no, there it goes. Time.
There we go.
There we go.
GG's, dude. GG's.
Thanks, Trouble the soul of my mother no more, Popeye. There we go. Awesome. So that was a ton of fun. Really had a lot of great time being here. So thanks for the host for doing this. We got 2 more runs left, I believe, in the marathon. So yeah, stick around for those if you can.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
yeah, 2 more runs.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Smash.
For what
And thanks
Yeah,
again
no
to
problem.
Dalton for commentating.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful to
Thanks.
have you
Bye.
guys. It's been a while since we've seen certain rando, and I mean, a lot's changed over the last few seasons for sure. As someone who ran one of the largest certain rando tournaments way back in the infancy stages.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for doing that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
She said, "Do
Yeah,
not
big
hate
shout outs to
humans.
Wild Mouse
If you cannot
for
live with them,
developing
then at
the
least do
randomizer
them no harm."
over the years, and taking community suggestions, adding little Easter eggs and small little updates that have really helped improve the game. And the other thing is shout outs to Talik as well. I don't have the links on hand, but Talik has created a numerous amount of resources and tools that we all use on a regular basis, especially when doing races, such as the race bot that everybody can use, which is super cool. It tracks elo and all sorts of other cool, neat things. Gives you some stat readouts for player. And so that's always really fun too. And like they said earlier, anybody can learn and starts playing this game, even if they've maybe only played the casually, once or twice.
Yeah, I think
So-
Talik's tools is on Soden.io along with the randomizer. I think Mouse has it on there now, so you can get like all the resources from there.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so
Awesome.
I'll go ahead and drop Certain.io as well. Nice, cool, really short link that'll help you guys get started with Certain Rando. There's all the links on there too that go back to the Discord and stuff like that as well. But yeah, the tools he had added recently have been like the replay system, so that's really neat to see. So you can kind of like look at what you've done over the seed. And he's developed the tracker that most people use as well to help people figure out, what relics they have or what they might be missing with the logic and stuff.
Yeah, I just sent
So-
you the link for Talik's rando tools in the Discord, so if you want to copy and paste that. I'm not sure if the bot's going to block me for posting the link.
Likely, Moobot's a little bit of a piece of shit sometimes. But
There you go.
yeah, like that's the link to Talik's page for the rando tools and stuff. So
Yeah.
definitely give that a looky. And yeah, thanks again for putting on such a great show with the seed.
Awesome. Thank you.
And big shout out to Black Fox as well. They vetted the seed beforehand,
Yeah,
which was
absolutely.
really nice of them to do, so that we had a interesting seed here.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
normally what happens, you'd be hoping for bat early. You get a bat early seed, and then you're showcasing the run. The run's over like way early.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was nice to see a bit of a change up in a showcase setting where you had to do a little bit more thinking and planning your route.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for having us, Smash. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So yeah, we'll go to intermission, and then we'll be back shortly with the next run. Thank you
Awesome.
again.
Thanks, everyone.